Well, welcome to the show. I'm Brendan.
I'm Corey, and this is Our View from the Bench. Welcome back, bench warmers. The NFL has announced they are going to step up their game when it comes to technology.
Oh, jeez, it's about time. We're going to go over the details of what this means and how it's going to affect the games.
Now, if we could just get another sport to accept the help of technology, we would be much better off. I'm Corey, Chain Gang member.
And I'm Brendan, fourth in inches, and this is RV from the Bench. Before we get started, if you're not already, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you never miss any one of the new episodes.
Also, if you could please do us the favor, if you like what you hear or see, please don't forget to smash that like button.
Come on, smash it for us. Smash it. It's free. It's free for you. It's free for us. And it helps us out a lot more than you probably think. All right, man. Well, technology it is, which is kind of crazy to think. We're in 2024. Dang near everything we have is electric this and driving electric cars. And, maybe the Jetsons isn't, quite where everybody thought we would be. But either way, we've got a lot of technology pretty much surrounding our lives. And most of the time it's here to make it better. Right. So the NFL decided, you know what, man, maybe we should get on this. We've been having a stick and some string for 100 years. Maybe there's a better way to kind of map out, the field and what a first down would take. Right?
Dude, it's funny when we were kids. I used to go to my next door neighbor Ryan because he's older. He used to play like high school football, so we used to go to his games on Fridays with his parents and stuff. And I remember just like being on the sideline sometimes with Tyler Perry while they were working the being the ball boys and stuff, and like watching the chain gang. I'm like, wow, they do the NFL like this too with the chain gang. Like this is a thing, like not just in high school football. Like it's so weird.
Yeah, all the way to the top level.
They're
Right?
still doing it now. So the fact that the NFL is even open to getting away from now, they said they won't get rid of them. There'll be like a backup more so,
Right.
or a visual for fans and coaches and players to know where the first down is supposed to be and where you need to get to and all that. But it is nice that they're like open to the possibility of maybe actually doing something about it and making it better.
Well, technology, like I said, most of the time only helps. And if you can improve something where there's a possibility of error using technology, then why not do it? And there's a lot of times where, hence the kind of name that I, coined at the beginning of the episode, it's just fourth and some. How much? I don't know, like this much, like the between here or there. So it's just like inches, whatever that means. It's the most vague measurement system we've got when there's, especially now that everybody's okay with it, millions, if not billions of dollars on the line, right? In betting and all these things. And we're just leaving it to, I don't know. Remember that one time the guy pulled out an index card to measure whether or not it was a first down? Like, that's what we're doing. And this game is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. It's crazy, bro.
Not only that, he pulled out the index card and there was a space where it fit between the ball and the marker. And then he still said first down, which didn't make any sense. I remember I was driving home from San Francisco. I'm pretty sure I went to a Niners game with Tim and I might have been Philip and Hager. I don't remember for sure. But we were driving back and I was listening to the game on the radio because it was like a Sunday night game. And I heard the guy, I think it might have been the Raiders announcers too that I was listening to since I was driving back from NorCal. But they were like, he just put an index card in between I was like, as I'm hearing this on the radio, I'm like, wait, what? Why doesn't he even have an index card on him in the first place? And why is that being used to tell if there's so weird. But yeah, I mean, the fact that the NFL again is open to maybe doing some things a little differently and hopefully easier and better. I don't know why it's taken this long to even have the option or the possibility to do so.
Yeah, exactly. So the NFL is basically implementing this optical tracking system that they're actually going to use and test out during the preseason this year. If all goes well, they'll implement it into the regular season. But you've kind of told me, because you read the article before me, is it's basically similar to like the technology that we see on the tennis courts, right? Where you can tell if a ball is in or out.
Yeah, either that or like the VAR for soccer when it's the offsides or the goal kind of stuff where they're able to very quickly be able to tell. And I know the first thing everyone thinks of is like, excuse me, there's a chip in the ball, so the ball will be able to, but it's not even the fact that they're using the chips in the ball. It has to do with like the way the players are moving and like, what was the wording they used? And it was,
well, the quote that I found was basically that it's there's a bunch of high resolution cameras are placed all over the stadium in order to get accurate tracking of a moving ball or person. So they can track anything they want, and it's just a bunch of high res cameras watching every single angle possible. And then when you obviously put all the angles together at the same time, you can kind of form that exact image. So
there you go. See, so yeah, I don't know. Again, just we have these pylon cams and all these other cameras. Like the first down marker has a camera, but obviously when there's a referee running down the sideline, he could run in the middle of the camera angle, and it kind of ruins where the ball is being needs to be placed. So
Mhm.
hopefully this,
Or other people, other,
yeah, other
players,
players or
whatnot.
even coaches that aren't supposed to be in front of it accidentally walk in front of it,
True.
because there's that pullback coach guy that they have
Mike
on the sidelines.
Tomlin, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's answer. So yeah, so it's something that the NFL, again, and I don't know if this is one of the reasons it came up, but I think it was either last year or the year before. There was a game, I want to say in New Orleans, where somebody ran out of bounds and they actually bumped into the chain gang guy, and he fell and like dislocated and broke his leg, because obviously
Oh,
some of these guys
jeez.
are older, and if he's turned and not paying attention, you get hit hard and you fall, like you can tweak. And I mean, I remember watching it on TV and like, oh, that guy's leg just totally bent the wrong way. Like that's not good. And they
Ah,
had to
no.
stretcher the chain gang member off the field. So maybe getting those
Right.
people out of the way of these huge athletes running towards them is obviously another good idea, but I don't know for sure. But that's just, I think, one of the things the NFL has to be at least aware of is getting. And why are all the chain gang members like old dudes? Why are all they like in their 50s and 60s, and they look like they haven't like run a marathon in 20 years, and they're just in the way?
They're supposed to stand still, Corey, and they're very good at that. You know what I mean? Hey, you stand right here. You do not move this damn pole no matter what happens. Okay? Yeah, okay. I got it. No worries. 10. I get it. 10 yards right here. We got it. No worry. But I'm happy for it, to be honest with you. Let me ask you this. Um, I think it's going to be only beneficial. And I'm happy because I think a lot more calls are going to be correct. There's also going to be a bunch of calls that I think we as fans would be used to happening. Be like, oh, that's close enough. They're going to move it.
True.
But with this technology, they might be able to kind of just double check that at an instant, and we might be seeing a lot more fourth and inches because we were able to tell that it didn't make it, when a lot of times the refs give a moving offense, especially on their own side of the
Yeah.
field, the benefit of the doubt. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well, if anything, it just creates more drama and more coaches having to decide whether they want to
Yeah.
go for it on fourth and short. So I think if it's anything, if from an NFL perspective, it makes more drama, and especially late in the game when a team's trying to keep a drive alive. If we know for sure they're that short and the ref didn't just give them a good spot to get them past the first down marker, and then a coach has to challenge it to then move it back and waste the challenge, then I think it's a win-win. If it's about getting the call right, so let's get it right from the
Yes.
get go.
Yeah, it increases the drama of the game, but decreases the drama of online chatter
Yes.
talking shit about how the game could have been better if X, Y, or Z happened.
Right.
So it's an increase and decrease of all the right drama I think you could want.
Yeah.
So it's super exciting. I think it's freaking awesome. I'm curious though, man. Like, do you think there's other ways that we can start implementing technology to improve football besides actually like just watching robots play football? I don't want to do that. I want to actually still watch
Yeah.
people play.
No.
But any other ways that you might be able to come up with that NFL could like really implement more tech?
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily more. It's just in this perspective, at least, it's making one aspect of it better, and that's the replay and challenge thing. Like, I don't understand why the ref on the field has to come over the loud system, say this team is challenging, it's under review, I'm going to go look at it, and then run across the field, or some dude or girl run up to you and give you an iPad, and you're going to look at it this big when the play. I mean, you're on the field live, and you need an iPad this small to look at it. And usually these guys are older, so I can't imagine not all of them have great vision. I'm sure there's some contacts being used in there. So you're looking super close to something that, and again, we're talking about millions of dollars being bet on these games. So the NFL wants to get these right because you have sponsors that are now gambling and FanDuel and all this
Yeah.
stuff. So why does it have to be the referee on the field? If anything, I think it should be like baseball, where the ref says it's under review, but then somebody else on the field, like where they normally have the medical tent that pops up when they need it for a player,
Oh yeah.
just have another referee on the sideline in a little booth. And if they say this play is under review, go to that guy or girl and have him look at it in 30 seconds, make a decision, tell them what it is, and let's move on and keep moving. Get it right, but also do it quickly. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be the person on the field. And if anything, it doesn't have to be another ref on the field on the sideline. There could be a booth upstairs next to the TV broadcast.
I like that one. Yeah,
They
I
just
like that
look
one.
up and they get a headset like, "Hey, what's going on?" The guy says, or girl says, "No, it was out of bounds at this yard marker. Put it there. It's third down and whatever." And they're like, okay, they do
Or
it.
it wasn't
Yeah,
holding or
and we
whatever.
move
Yeah.
on. And then the crowd doesn't have anybody in particular to boo at on the field because the referees on the field didn't make the change.
True.
It's somebody else in a
Hmm.
booth. It doesn't have to be in another state in Saskatchewan. What is it for NBA and all this stuff? What's the city that they can't be?
I forgot where it's
Somewhere in
at.
New Jersey, Secaucus, New Jersey. That's what
Oh,
I want to say
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Saskatchewan, but that's in Canada. But yeah, it doesn't have to be somebody in another part of the country. It can just be in each stadium. They have their own like war room for a replay ref, and just have that
Hmm.
person make the right call when it comes up. And then again,
And
we
quickly.
don't have to waste all this time. And I know the TV, like it gets you an extra commercial break here and there, but like the fans at home when they show the replay and within a minute or less, we can all be like, oh, well, that should be this instead of that. But then it takes them 4.5, 5 minutes. Like, what are we doing? Just
Yeah.
get the replay
I don't
done
know. Wasting time.
quickly.
Hmm.
Game's long enough.
Yeah, and honestly, we could use all these new high res cameras that they're
Yeah.
putting in the stadium for all of these replays to make them quick and easy. You could even probably try to implement some AI system to be able to review the footage and call out discrepancies that are there, like whether or not the ball should be here or there, etc.
Yeah. No,
Right?
totally.
So there's all that you could do. I like that, improving instant replay, and especially the one about having somebody else, bro. They don't need to be
Right.
right there. They don't need to be
And
there.
if anything, it's a backup referee or two of them in case another ref or somebody on the field gets hurt. They can come from the extra booth to the field. Like you have a backup ref. I mean, there's a backup ref somewhere. I would assume in the building in case somebody falls or gets hurt anyway. So why not
Hmm.
just have that person be the TV booth replay guy or girl?
Wham bam.
Move around as much as you need. I don't understand it's so hard.
Agree. Agree.
But I just said t-shirts at a stadium. What do I know?
Yeah, true. Shut up, Corey. um okay, so I think what would be cool is if this first down technology works, I think they should expand it to the goal line. I know we have the
Yes.
pylon cams, but I mean, why not make it exact? Like in tennis, you have a smidgen, a centimeters of a centimeter, millimeter on a freaking on the line, it counts,
Mhm.
right? Or if that millimeter is what's separating it from out, then it's out. Well, let's get that detail with football. If he breaks the line, right, like he's supposed to, has the possession, there should be something that should be able to tell all these high resolutions. I think we spend to the goal line. Be a lot less drama there too.
Yeah, no, that'd be great because like when those guys reach out sometimes and somebody tries to hit it out, do they cross it with full possession before it gets hit out of their hand or not? Like you'd be able to tell all
Hmm.
that and just be like, "Yep, it's already crossed. Doesn't matter if he dropped it. He had already broken the plane, and we move on. It's a touchdown. Blah blah blah. We go from there. Like that would
Yep.
be
Or the opposite, right? Oh no, it didn't pass it, right,
yeah,
etc. Yeah.
it would make things much easier and much simpler. And again, if it's all about getting it right when it comes to all this money being involved on the gambling side, then do whatever you got to do to get it right. You have all the money and you're about to get more if you're the league because you're going to do all these new TV broadcast deals.
Oh, ton.
So spend the money wisely and make your product better. It's not that hard.
The last thing, because I agree with you, the last thing I could think of that I think would be cool is that they were able to kind of like do this same thing. It did say that you could track whatever. You could track a ball. It could track a person. Well, if it could track a whole person, I'm assuming it could track maybe if 2 feet were in
Mhm.
bounds inside the end zone or inside but before it got out of bounds with the ball. I know we're always trying to see. Okay, did grass get kicked
Yeah.
up, and was the grass white grass or was it green grass? Right. We're trying to pick through whether or not there's dirt or the pellets get kicked up, and is it on that side? Well, if we have technology, can we have that same idea on whether or not the feet are in beforehand, whether or not it's inbounds or out of bounds or a touchdown or out of bounds? I don't know. I'm
I
just saying.
mean,
Let's use the technology to get rid of all the
yeah,
errors.
exactly. That's the point of, like you said, technology is supposed to enhance and make things easier. So why not try to make the referee's job? They're already running around and trying to keep up and watch all that's happening. Why don't we try to take away some of the things they have to pay close attention to as they're running up and down the field?
Especially something as simple as spotting a
Yeah,
ball. Like they got to be watching for the holdings and the bad plays and the chop blocks and the where he was whether he was tackled correctly, all that kind
yeah,
of stuff, right? Count how many people are on the freaking
field at the time. Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
and the other
So
thing
yeah, let's take away the ball
The other
spotting.
thing too with the ball spotting is like if a guy gets tackled from behind and he falls, but then he kind of bounces forward while he's on the ground or slides, like what part of where that is stopped did the ref actually see the ball and knows where to place it? So maybe with this
True.
technology, they get that spot even more
Get really
accurately than
exact.
they did before. So
Well, it's gonna be cool. I'm super excited to see it in preseason. I'm curious to see like just what it looks like, or if it's a change of experience for the fans. So that'll be something exciting to see. And I honestly just hope it works. That way we can see it in the regular season. Like I said, let's get stuff
yeah,
right.
and worst case, if it doesn't go great in the preseason this year, then they'll work on it throughout the offseason and try it again next year. So it's not necessarily a for sure going to be in 2024 as far as the regular season, but at least they're trying in the preseason to see if it's something that can be implemented now or if they need to go back and fine tune it and then implement it in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, so excited for that. Excited for that. There was another little bit that came out. I actually had read it just before we started this. Oddly enough, I know Google's always listening, so maybe it's not that odd. But Rob Manfred, let's switch leagues, but stick with tech. Rob Manfred had already basically said, I know we're not in the middle, but towards the beginning of the Major League Baseball season, obviously, so nothing's going to be really changing now. But he kind of has already come out and kind of given the nix on 2025 having what some may call a robot umpire or an electronic strike zone. We at our view from the bench like electronic strike zone because I was confused when I first read it. I kind of thought that it was literally going to be a robot behind home plate, and I was kind of confused. And Corey told me, no, no, no. So we're going to stick with electronic strike zone here. But just so anybody else watching, you might know, also known as robot umpire. Apparently, Manfred has confirmed that that's not in the works for the 2025 season. And the way the baseball umps are this year, if you haven't seen it already, go check out our
Oh,
episode on Major League umps. They suck. They suck. And we give plenty of explanations and reasons why, examples, et cetera, and ways to improve it. So go check that out if you haven't already. But Corey, Manfred's already told us no for this electronic strike zone for 2025. Is this because they're going to try it in spring training, or because he's going to wait for the next freaking commissioner to deal with
yeah, I
it?
was gonna say this is his last run. I don't remember when his contract. I want to say like 2030 or something. He's gonna run through, but yeah, I'm with you. I like this electronic strike zone. I like the concept of it because it essentially is going to put the home plate umpire will have an earpiece, and the technology with all the signals and stuff they have in all the stadiums will signal to him with like a beep that means that's a strike, and then all he has to do is say strike, and then if it doesn't beep and it says nothing, then he says nothing, and we continue playing the game as always. He'll Home plate umpires will still have to make calls at the plate when there's like a runner trying to score, or if there's a balk by the pitcher, or a check swing, or a foul tip, or hit by a pitch. Like there's still things for them to do.
Catcher's interference,
Catcher
like you mentioned
interference
earlier.
as well. Like there's other things for them to focus on and take care of. But having again to take that one little thing off the plate because I can't remember the name of the Twitter page. It's like MLB report card or something like that, and they literally
Mm-hmm.
go through every single game and they put the strike zone up there and they say which balls they missed and how much their percentage of like 95% correct. These are the amount of calls they missed. This is where they were on the plate, blah, blah, blah. Angel Hernandez is the worst of them all. There's a couple other
Of
guys
course.
that are like that, but like there are a couple guys that are like 98, 99% correct, which is great.
Yes, keep
Yeah,
those
keep
guys.
those.
Pay them
Yeah,
more.
that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome as well. But if you're gonna at least like the minor leagues has been using it for the challenge thing. They're not using the strike zone every pitch, ball or strike, but there is that whole if you as a batter or a pitcher, you get one pitch per at bat, where if you don't think the call was right, you can tap your helmet, the umpire looks upstairs, they tell him yes or no, he says yes or no, and they move on. It takes literally 10 to 15 seconds. And with all the time that baseball's cut out of the game with the new rules and the pitch clock, adding 10 seconds every
10
once
seconds
an
ain't
inning
bad.
or so here and there is not going to be a big deal. But also, if the pitching strike zone is all electronic, then there's no arguing with the umpire about balls and strikes because you can't argue with them because they're not the one making the call. So you,
Yeah, and neither are
yeah,
you technically because technology is telling you that it doesn't matter what you think or what
exactly.
he thinks. This is what
Yeah, so
happened.
then you can have the dugout and the players. There's nobody's going to get mad and yell at the umpire or get. I mean, there might be less players or managers thrown out of games because they don't have anything to argue because the technology thing telling them this is a strike, this is a ball, and we keep on moving. It might even speed the game up even more so and cut another 3 to 5 minutes off of a long game.
Yeah, you know what? You're not wrong, actually. You're not wrong. That's so true because there's so much time to spend
Yeah.
arguing.
I mean, there's
That's
I
so
don't know if you
true.
saw the one the other day. It was the Marlins. There was a couple pitches that were low that they called strike, and Skip Schumacher, who's the manager for the Marlins, kind of
That
barking
was
a little
bad.
bit. And then there's one I don't know who the assistant coach was. He was walking up the dugout from the back end closer to home plate, and he's just clapping like, "All right, let's move on. Let's keep moving. Let's keep playing." And the umpire didn't see who it was, doesn't know who it was, but just took his mask off and said, "You're out of here." And Skip Schumacher comes up like, "Who'd you throw out?" And he's
Ooh,
like, "I don't know. Somebody in your dugout." He's like, what do you mean somebody? Like you threw somebody out. You have to tell me who. Just pick a position player, anybody. It doesn't matter. As a manager,
pick a coach, pick
if
somebody.
I'm Skip Schumacher, I'm not throwing anybody out by my.
I'm picking anybody.
You're the one that did it. You make the choice. And then
You pick.
the crew member or crew chief comes over and tells Skip like, look, we called somebody out. We got to send somebody out. So whether you pick them or it's one of your coaches, it doesn't matter. But pick somebody. If you're an umpire, you shouldn't be able to throw someone out unless you look at the dugout, you make eye contact and know who did or said what, and then you can throw that person out. You can't just randomly throw somebody out because you heard something. It goes back to the Aaron Boone thing where the fan said something and Aaron Boone got thrown out of the game. Like, what are we doing?
Bad.
Yeah.
Terrible. Terrible. I like the grading system. I really like our idea, or our agreeance with Max
Yes,
Scherzer's
brought it
idea.
up.
Um, but also, I mean, this could save it too, right? If we don't want to use the technology, let's go with the relegation. If we don't, or make the ups who are relegated, make them be the use of the technology. Make the Angel
Ooh.
Hernandezes use the technology until they can learn what a ball and a strike is. The guy who's getting 99.9%, man, let him do his job. He's doing great. He's doing great. 0.1% or even 1% human error. I'm okay with that, man. But this guy who's batting 75% on balls and strikes, no, no, no. You get told. Let me teach you what a ball and a strike is, Angel, since you aren't aware of exactly what that is. So maybe they can mix and match it like that. Again, it'd be best to have it everywhere because then you could say, well, that's not fair. My game didn't have this game could have, and I could have pitched a different, or obviously that. But if you don't want to implement it everywhere, just give it to the ones that
Yeah,
suck.
that would be nice because yeah, there are a few umpires that are really good and don't have very many mistakes that they make. So if we can just get the ones that screw up, and again, we shouldn't know the umpires' names. That's the worst part.
No, yeah, agree, agree. That pretty much wraps this one up, though. Please let us know down below in the comments if you're excited about the new tech in football specifically, because that's obviously what it's already kind of at least being tested in. And also tell us if there was a time that maybe a missed first down, maybe ruined a game for you or ruined a parlay for
Ugh.
you. Let us know down below in the comments if that technology could have helped, right? Appreciate everybody stopping by, though. Thank you as always for seeing things from our view from the bench. I'm
And
Brandon.
I'm Corey. Like we always say, enjoy the sports until we talk again.
Peace.
This was a Sycamore Fourth Studios production.